Hey, so this is Jason Morris here, and I was thinking about it. I've been talking to some agents on Facebook, and one of the things that I've kind of come to, well, and one of the things I realized, we're coming here to the end of the first quarter. And hey, Jeff, what you up to, man? We're coming here to the end of the first quarter, and there's a lot of stuff going on in some of your businesses, and I've had a lot of messages, here, and I get a lot of messages all the time, but I got a lot of messages here yesterday, and I wanted to talk about some of the questions, some of the things that I noticed that was going on, and I'm probably going to upset, a few agents and step on some toes here, but I think that some agents kind of need a reality check. The thing is that we're at the end of the first quarter. We got like 5 days left, and are you where you really want to be at? Are you where you need to be at to reach your goals, and this is something I've seen some agents doing that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Is the plan you currently have working? I was talking to an agent last night. It's 3 months into the year, they hadn't sold their first house. They don't have a house under contract. They don't have anything going on except for they feel like they're working, you know what I mean? But they haven't sold a house in 3 months. Hey, Chase, but they haven't sold a house in 3 months. If you haven't sold a house in 3 months, then I just don't feel like your plan is working for you. You've had 3 months of mortgage payments, 3 months of rent, 3 months of light bill, 3 months of all the expenses that come along with being a real estate agent, then your personal expenses, and you haven't got the first paycheck. Guys, if this is you, if you feel like I'm talking about you, send me a message. That's question number one. And I think you need to be really honest with yourself. If it's been 3 months and you're not where you want to be, you don't at least say, if your goal for the first 3 months was to sell 9 properties, 3 a month, and you don't at least have, say 6 closed and 3 more pending, then you're probably not where you need to be. Can you guys hear me on Facebook okay? Hey, give me some thumbs up if you can hear me. But that's the truth. If you're 3 months into your business, if you're 3 months into 2018 and you hadn't sold your house, you're not where you want to be, and you don't at least have those in the pipeline pending, then you're not where you want to be, right? I mean, you're not where you need to be. Hey, Tony. I feel like the number one question we need to ask, if you're not where you want to be, right? If you're not where you want to be, you don't at least have the properties pending that that's a good question, Eric. I'll get to it here in just a second. I'm going to go through what I want to talk about real quick. But number one question we need to ask yourself is, what did your schedule look like? What did your schedule look like? Did you just work when you felt like it? What daily activities did you work on every day? Did you work on things that were actually producing you money, or did you go to the office, hang out, drink a little coffee in the mornings, eat a donut maybe? What did you do every day? That's number one. Number two, did you work on any type of self-improvement? Now, one of the things I think about the real estate business that agents just can't seem to, a lot of agents just can't seem to understand is, it's probably 75% mental, probably 75% mindset, and 25% skill, learning the new script, learning the new whatever it is. It's probably 75% mindset and 25% skill set. And if you're not working on yourself, nobody's working on you for you. I guarantee you that. Number three, are you in denial? I'll tell you this is the craziest thing with agents that I have them message me. Some of them will message me asking for help. I offer to help them. Number one, sometimes, if you want me to invest in you, sometimes you got to invest in yourself. You know what I mean? but what you're doing is not working. You have nothing that's closed this year. You have nothing pending this year. You don't have the ones pending where you need to be. You're not working on any type of self-development things, and for some reason you think you just keep doing what you're doing. If you're not making any money, guys, you can have all the hustle in the world, but if you don't have any money, coming in, you're going to burn out. That hustle's going to burn out. You can't hustle but so long. I even hate that word hustle, but you can't hustle but for so long before you get tired of hustling. Hey Dante, what's been going on, man? I hadn't talked to you in a while. Hey Alex, hey Angelina. But yeah, if you just keep hustling, you're just going to burn out. You're going to quit. If you find yourself, you're hustling, you're grinding 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, you haven't made any money, but you feel like you're working hard, what you're doing is not working. And sometimes, some agents are like, oh, I had a good conversation yesterday. Oh, things are looking up, but you didn't get a listing contract signed. You didn't get a buyer's agency agreement signed. You didn't set an appointment. You just had a fairly decent conversation. So number 4, I think this is one of the big things that agents have going on that that they don't really understand. They don't really have a real strategy. They don't really have anything happening. Like I talked to one agent, and they said, oh, well, I'm working really hard on my sphere of influence. And I said, well, how many transactions this year so far has your sphere of influence brought you? And she goes, well, they haven't brought me none, but I'm making a contact. So my plan is working. Your plan is not working, right? If all you're doing is calling your sphere of influence, and there's nothing going on with it, right? Your friends and family can only buy so many houses from you. I'll tell you guys the truth. After 14 years in the real estate business, one thing I've learned about my friends and family is they all want the friends and family discount. You guys ever get that? Click the heart button if you love it when they ask you. Your friends and family love it when you ask for the friends. They ask for the friends and family discount. And but I think that is yeah, everyone everywhere is your sphere of influence. But you know what, man? Your sphere of influence typically isn't targeted. Like if you're, every now and then they send you a deal, but the way it really is, the truth of the matter is if, they only know so many people. They're only going to pass your cards out so many times, and they're not a predictable source of business. They're just kind of icing on the cake, a little extra icing sometimes, but some months they refer you to, then 3 months go by, they don't refer you to anybody, and they're not buying anything every month. If you're only working your sphere of influence, you can find, especially as a new agent, you can find yourself spinning your wheels pretty easily. Number 5. Guys, I hear a lot of agents saying this too. They said, oh, well, I've got my office is giving me help. I have a lot of agents that contact me about coaching, and then they go, oh well, I've got a coach at my office. Guys, some of these coaches that are at offices that are productivity coaches and stuff like that, the reason they're productivity coaches or something like that is because honestly they don't really sell much real estate. If they are busy in their real estate business and they've got 20, 30 people, 40 people they're meeting with once a week, coach, they really don't have time to give you much help, And I've had some agents go, oh, well, I really think I want to join your group coaching, but, my broker in charge really helps me and I can call him anytime I need to. If you're not making any money, though, you really do need help. If they're not helping you come up with a strategy to make you money, you do need help. If you aren't making money, if you haven't made any money in 2018 yet, then what are you really doing? You know what I mean? So, guys, I got some time for some questions. Here I had one question. It actually disappeared, but they asked me if they were, I think it was Josh Johnson. I don't know if you're still on the call, Josh. But one of the things they asked was, what about they're on a team, but they're doing most of the transactions themselves. Is it time to get off a team? You know what? Lots of times I find the team only benefits the the team leader, and sometimes it don't even benefit them. Um, I'm not a big believer in big teams. I mean, I've had one before and I got burnt out on it. And honestly, as an agent, it's tough. It's tough to make much money doing a 50-50 split. Click the heart button if you agree with that one. There just isn't. There just isn't much money to be made when they're taking 50% of the transaction, especially if they're taking 50% of the transaction after broker splits. I see a lot of that too. Agents go, oh, I'm on a 50-50 split with my team. No, what they're really on is they're on a 50-50 split with the team after the broker takes 20 or 30%, And the problem is that, man, it's tough to make money on a 50-50 split that way. And it just isn't gonna happen a lot of times, So I mean, that's just the way that it is, as far as that stuff goes. So yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you, Tony. Everyone is your sphere of influence, but hey, man, you got the dry cleaner, you got the Starbucks guy, you got whatever. It gets really tough. Broker fees only 1%. Oh my God, man, what's the broker fees only 1%? You mean the buyer broker's fees only 1%? Dude, if that's what you're dealing with, man, that's tough. God, if you're only making 1%, you know what, that's about what it is. A lot of these offices are 70-30 with a franchise fee, so really you're only walking away with like 64%, and then so the brokerage is taking a third, the team leader, your own's taking a third, and you're getting a third, but you're doing all the work, and a lot of teams, they're the broker split's only 1%. Okay, so you're getting 50% of 99%. I mean, that's not horrible. I mean, at least you're not walking away with 30. Some of these agents I talk to out here on teams, they're walking away with 32%. They don't realize it. You know what I mean? So, God, some of them are walking away with 32%. Then they're getting a transaction fee taken out of that, which, I mean, honestly, that's bullshit. It's hard to keep people around when you're taking all the money. And Eric, that might be what it is, man. If you're doing more business on your own than what the team is giving you, I mean, that's the benefit of being on a team, is getting some business from them. If you're doing more business on your own than what you're doing with the team, but the team's still taking the same money on all your business, man, you might need to renegotiate, or either you might need to go back and renegotiate, number one, or you might need to think about not being on the team anymore. I mean, that's just one thing that kind of comes to mind. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I got some time here and I'll answer them. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the big problems with teams. I mean, teams, honestly, man, they kind of suck for agents on the team sometimes. It's got to be, you got to be getting a lot of leads that are actually like decent leads, and set some expectations for it to be really worth it, because it just doesn't make sense otherwise. Hey, no problem, man. Anytime I can help you, just let me know. I'm happy to. Hey, David. Hey, Jason. Hey, John. What you up to, man? Yeah, so guys, let's run back through this real quick. I want to, is the plan you currently have working? I'll tell you, the number one way to figure out if your plan's working or not is how much have you sold in the last 3 months. If you went through one quarter and that quarter was not what you thought it was going to be, then your plan is probably not working. Does that make sense? And if you haven't sold a house in 3 months, it's not working for you for sure. Guys, the number one question I'd ask any agent that told me they weren't where they need to be is, number one, hey, thanks, Eric. I appreciate it, man. Number one question is, what did your schedule look like? What are you doing every day? That's the number one question. Hey, Jeff, thanks, man. Jeff's in there. Eric's in there. What did your schedule look like and what did your daily activities look like every day? I mean, if you're sitting around the office just hoping something's going to happen, you're doing phone duty. I don't know anybody making a ton of money doing phone duty and working with walk-ins coming in their office. It just don't happen in 2018. Maybe in 1992, people just stopped by the real estate office to see what was on the market. It don't happen today, man. They're on the internet. They're picking up their cell phone. They're picking up their tablet. They're opening their laptop, and that's where the business is coming from. Number two, did you do any type of self-improvement? Did you work on yourself? Because I guarantee if you're not working on you, nobody else is. But did you do any type of self-improvement? Did you read books? Are you watching YouTube videos? Did you attend webinars regularly? Are you in a coaching program? I'll tell you what, the number one thing for me as a new agent that shortened my learning curve was joining a coaching program, becoming a part of a coaching program. So guys, number three, I see agents like this all the time. They're in denial, right? They're out there, they're working hard every day. They get home and they're tired, And lots of times we get home, we're tired. We go, man, we're tired. We worked hard today. But lots of times they worked hard on nothing that was going to be income producing for them. That's the thing. Are you in denial about where your business is at the end of March 2018? Are you in denial about where you are? Think about that question. That's a hard question, man. I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot, Tony's right. Write down goals and end of the day, reflect on what you did and what you didn't do. I make a to-do list every single day. Every single day. I have a to-do list. I have a goal list for the week. I have a to-do list for the day. I spend about 15, 20 minutes every morning. The first thing I do is write down my goals, what I need to get accomplished for the day. I look at my goal list for the week, go ahead and check off what I've already accomplished. And I mean, this is a written goal list. This isn't something printed up on a Google Doc or a Word document that I can just choose not to open. This is on a whiteboard in my office that I have no choice but to look at. Question number 4, your sphere of influence. Did you only work your sphere of influence? Guys, I'm telling you, your sphere of influence is great business if you can get it. It's great business if you can get, hey, thanks, Dante, man. You got 2 closed, 4 under contract. Dude, you're having a great first quarter already, man. Great first part of the year. And I think you just joined my coaching too. I don't think you've been in there that long. But yeah, man, if you only are working your sphere of influence, only working your friends and family, and here's the problem with a lot of agents. Man, when I moved to Myrtle Beach, I didn't have a sphere of influence. Honestly, I didn't have anybody. I kind of knew my next door neighbor. I'll tell you, I knew my next door neighbor, and I kind of knew him from just walking in and out and, seeing him pass, coming and going. I can't remember what it was one day, but I knock on his door and he opens the door and I kind of look around him, just kind of being nosy. And the guy literally had one of them old TVs that was sitting on a milk crate, and he had a beanbag chair in his living room. That was my next door neighbor. That was my whole sphere of influence right there. And just from the look of his furniture, man, he wasn't buying a house no time soon. He was looking for a couch, And a lot of us just started in the business. Maybe we're right out of college, stuff like that. Sometimes, man, I was right out of college. All the people I knew were college, in college or just got out of college. They didn't buy any. They couldn't buy a house, man. Some of them couldn't hardly afford oodles and noodles. So guys, number 5, this is something I see all the time. Agents that go, oh, I don't need training. I don't need coaching. I'm in an office that offers a lot of that stuff. And they go to the coaching. They go to the training in their office. The problem is most of the people at your office that have time to teach those classes, they have time because they're really not selling any real estate. They're not the person that you need to learn from. They're not the person that's done enough business to be able to teach you how to do business, to know the ins and outs, to know the way your clients, your customers are going to react, to know the most cost-effective ways to go out and get business. I was working at an office one time, and the guy that was the team leader, he kept going, hey, best thing you can do is have a good mail campaign. Best thing you can do is mail campaign. Finally, this guy goes, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And I was like, shit, this guy keeps talking about a mail campaign. Like I was operating, this is about 2015. I was going, man, I'm operating 2015, man. We don't even carry our junk mail in the door at the house, right? And you're talking about you need a good mail campaign. The problem is it's hard to cut through the clutter with mail campaigns. So he went through and he had about 20 agents that was doing this thing also, and he was directing them. And literally there were some of them that were probably rolling change for stamps and digging through their couch cushions, to buy the stamps. And the problem with mail in 2018, even 2015, is it don't matter what you do or how cheap you try to go, it's going to cost you $1 a mail piece. It's going to cost you $1 a mail piece. And you look at how much junk mail you get every day at your house. It doesn't make sense to do mail in 2018. It just costs too much. I mean, if you're getting a 1% response ratio and it's costing you $1 per mail piece, that means it's costing you $100 for one lead. One lead, guys. If you're finding yourself in this situation, you join my group coaching. It's $50 a month. It's month to month. You get all the details at jasonmorrisgroupcoaching.com. Guys, if I can help you, send me a message on Facebook or send me an email at jasonmorriscoaching@gmail.com. Hey, thanks, guys. You guys have a great day. Hey, AJ.